welcome back to part 2 of how to create a flawless skin. This part is about foundation and concealers, and I hope you guys already checked out the first video, which is about priming your skin. It's important to create a perfect canvas before you start applying foundation and concealer, and that video is all about that. So check that out before you continue watching this video. This video is going to teach you useful tips and tricks on how to apply foundations, a few recommendations on foundations to use, some basic knowledge of how foundations work. It's always your skin but better. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about all the tools you're gonna need in applying foundation. Again, it's a personal choice. Different tools give you a different finish. I personally like to combine a lot of this method to achieve the finish that I want to have. But I'm gonna introduce a couple foundation applications tools for you to choose. So first would be a sponge. So this is a beauty sponge that's damp enough that you cannot squeeze the water out of it, but then it's also very wet. So normally how I like to do that is soak this under the running water, and I will wrap it in a towel, and then I'll squeeze it in the towel to make sure that it's dry that way. So it's just damp enough, but it doesn't have water coming out of it. And then this is a Sigma flat synthetic foundation brush F60. So this is flat and synthetic. I use this to apply my foundation every day, and also a flat top brush. So this is just a generic flat top brush. It's flat, and then it's also have a little bit of flare on the side. So you use it to buff in your foundations. And what you call a beauty sponge on a stick. This is a buffing foundation brush, and this is used to, again, buffing your foundation. I use this as well. This is a Real Technique foundation brush. I don't think it's used for my foundation, but I use for whatever I want. But this is a slightly shorter than this one, and also it's a little more flare out than this one. It's a lot more denser. So there's multiple ways to apply foundation. Oh, I almost forgot. You can apply foundation with your fingers as well. I've done it before. It does not give me the finish I like, but I also use it when I don't have other choices. It's workable. Another very important tool is a mixing palette. I love to use this to mix my foundations. I never really just use one foundation in my routines. I always like to mix them to get the perfect foundation that works for my skin. So first of all, I live in Florida, okay? So I really need SPF in my foundations. Some foundation has SPF, some foundation doesn't. So let's introduce a couple that has SPF in it I could just use. The first one is a cosmetic CC cream. I like to use the illumination one, so it gave me a skin a little bit of glow. I am a glow queen, okay? I love to have glow to my skin. I love to have that yoga glow that I just went to beach kind of situations. So I like to pick glowy foundation, but that's just me. This one has SPF 50 plus. Oh, thank God, because nobody needs to get burned in Florida, okay? So this foundation I like to use in combination with other foundation that gives me a little bit of coverage or a little bit more friendly to my skin, or so on and so forth. So another one that I like to use that has SPF in it is from Armani. This is the Power Fabric Long Wear High Coverage Foundation. I know this is very light. I normally like to mix this with my Lancome. It's right here. I still keep it in a box, but I like to mix them too. Some of the foundation I use is a little bit lighter. Some of the foundation I use is a little bit darker. So I like to mix them to create my skin color at the time, because it changes like every other day. Yes, I know, Florida sun, no joke. This one has SPF 25. It doesn't have a lot of SPF, quite honestly. I still like to mix this with my sunscreen to use, because SPF 25 is like, what, you want me to sit in the car? That's it. So that's one. And another one I like to use is another CC cream. It's from Arborean. This is the CC cream, and this is very special too. Let me show you what I mean by that. So if I squeeze a little bit out, this is like white. You see that? But if I mix it, it's a foundation. Can you see that? Isn't that crazy? I was having like a Twilight Zone moment when I tried this out on my hand. I was like, oh, whoa, what? Do it again? So this is actually changing according to your skin color. It can get pretty deep too. So when I have a little bit of tan on, I like to use this to help the foundation to adjust to my skin. Yeah, that's actually a thing. So that's the foundation that I have that has the SPF in it. What I like to use is cushion foundation as well from South Korea. For example, this Q Cover one is my cult favorite. It has so much coverage, and also it has SPF 50 plus. And I can throw this in my purse and touch it whenever I need to, and it's amazing. It's so easy to use, no joke. I have a lot of other ones too, like this one, April Skin, is pretty good. Alps is also really good. However, I find, you know, cushion foundation not as easy to use when you used to just do your foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great for touch up, but I still prefer using liquid foundation as my base. So moving on to my favorite foundation. Medium light coverage. My favorite, oh my god, this is my ride or die foundation. I've been using this non-stop. This is Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation. It's strange because this also is kind of similar to the Alberian. It kind of like can adjust to my skin color a little bit. So sometimes when I'm a little darker, a little bit lighter, I can still use it, which is crazy. Oh my god, like, can you imagine you don't have to ever color match? It won't happen, but I'm just saying. My other favorite medium to light coverage foundation would be L'Oreal Infallible, the Pro Glow Foundation. This one, I don't want to say it's like medium coverage. It's like you can build it up to medium coverage, but I love to use it when I'm feeling a little bit natural. Like when I don't want a full coverage, and even medium coverage was a little too much, I would like to use this one. It works really well. And KOH-GEN-DO Aqua foundation, oh my god, like this is the type of foundation that truly is your skin or better, because it really doesn't provide a lot of coverage. It just like barely there. It evens out your skin color, doesn't give you a lot. For full coverage foundation, I love the Lancome 24 Hours Ultra foundations, Teint Idole's Ultra 24 Hours Makeup. So this foundation, it is classic in my drawer because you know what this one can do? It cancels out everything. It's basically like a concealer in foundation form. So like it covers out literally everything. So I also like to use YSL Touche Eclat foundation. This one's also full coverage, but it gives you like a powdery finish versus this one just full coverage. Oh, I almost forgot. Talking about drugstore full coverage, Milani Conceal and Perfect. Oh my god, like it's paint. Oh my god, like it doesn't give you anything showing. Like it cancels out everything. So if you use like something like this, you don't even need to do any kind of color correct before, because it's gonna cover everything. So this is the full coverage foundation that I really enjoy and like. I'm still discovering other foundations. However, I like to keep my foundation to a minimum because even though I have a huge makeup collections, but foundation is something that I don't like to collect because it expires very quickly, and I always want to, you know, dedicate to finish using my foundation at a time before I move on to something else. After talking about all of these foundation options, now let's actually get into applying the foundation. I'm going to show you the combination I love to use every day. Oh, like I said, I'm gonna use the Skin Love foundation from Becca, and I'm gonna squeeze 2 pumps on my plate. So 1, 2. Yep, just like this. I'm going to either use Alberian or just a sunscreen. So this is from Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector as sunscreen. This is the white one. It has SPF 42. So if I feel like I want to add a little bit of skin adjusting factor to my foundation, I'm gonna use this one. If I feel like it's gonna be on point, then I'm gonna use the actual sunscreen. So also be careful when you mix sunscreen with your foundation, because the sunscreen actually leave you a white cast. So if you mix with your foundation, sometimes it will leave you a little bit of ashiness on your skin. So I'm gonna use ONEMOREACTIVE. So I'm gonna squeeze one pump like this much. Ooh, like this much on my palettes. I'm going to mix the foundation like so. So I mix it like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it with this brush. So I'm going to stroke from under my eye where I need the most coverage. And I'm going to start wiping it out. A lot of you guys are like, oh my god, this is a lot of trickiness. I know, trust the process. From the center of your face, go out like this. So you kind of like paint it on. You don't have to care too much about like neatness on this step because you're gonna use other technique to make sure it blends in. So right now you just want to make sure you apply it to your skin. So now I took all my foundation and applied on my face. Now I'm gonna take the damp sponge using the flat side, and then I'm gonna start pressing the foundation in. This step is very essential because now it's gonna not only blend in the foundation but also take away the extra foundation. So if you start using the sponge right off the back, it's gonna soak away all your foundations and you're not gonna end up using enough. But now that you are using the brush to apply it, and you're gonna use this to take away the extra foundation that you don't need while pressing the rest of them in. Make sure to blend your jawline to make sure it blends down into your neck. A couple places that's always easy to forget is the side of your eyes, this area right here. Make sure you blend in here, and then also your eyelid. I always like to do my foundation before my eye look, and also around your mouth as well. Make sure you really get into the side of your nose. Now here you go. So see how flawless that finish is, because it not only it gives you enough coverage with applying with brush, but also it gives you the glowingness and also most importantly the lightness with the makeup sponge. If you like to use a full coverage very matte foundation, this technique also works as well. What I recommend, if you have dry skin and you still want to use a full coverage matte foundation, mix in a little bit of moisturizer or a little bit of accents to kind of give your foundation a little bit skincare property so that it clings to your skin a little better. So now let's talk about concealing. So I like to use concealer to brighten my under eyes, not just, cover up my dark circle. So there's a lot of different concealer on the market. I have a few concealer that I love to use, and I use it over and over again. My #1 favorite is actually from Too Faced Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This has been so hot on the YouTube for the past few months, so I think you guys already know what it is. And then another one is actually from Colorpop. It's the No Filter Concealer. I like to use the shade Light 10 on Colorpop concealer and Almonds in Too Faced concealer. And also another one I like to use is from Issa. Oh my god, this is from so long ago. This is my try and true cream concealer, and this cancels out everything. And this is from Mercier, the Secret Camouflage Concealer Duo. And this is my try and true as well. I like to use this before my foundation or after, depends how I feel that day. So today I'm going to use the Colorpop No Filter. I like to apply concealer from a tube. Is actually take it out like this, and then I'm gonna apply it directly onto my face. I'll create a little triangle like this. Not too close to the eyes, but just right underneath my eyes. Doesn't have to be perfect. I normally don't dunk it in again. I just use simply two different sides. And then I'm gonna use what is left in here, lightly put it on my nose, my forehead, and a little bit on the chin. So normally how I like to do after this is let it sit for a couple seconds so that I can get a little bit more coverage out of the concealer. And then I'm gonna take the brush, not the sponge, the brush, the same one that I used my foundation for, and then I'm just gonna tap it in. You always wanna focus on from your nose to your eye, to your ducts, and the edge of your eye, and this triangle right here. Tilt it like 45-degree angle and tap it in. It doesn't have to fully blend in. All you have to do is just to make sure it taps out like into like this type of shape. Ooh, yeah, this is a look. So I'm gonna take the damp sponge again. Now I'm gonna use the pointy side, and then I'm gonna get really close to my eye, and then I'm going to tap very, very lightly and very, very quickly. I like to have very light under eye, so some people would think that, oh my god, this is not your color. I know. I normally like to use at least half a shade to a shade lighter on under my eyes to create that kind of brighten effect. So I know it's not my color, it's okay, I like it. You use this to blend it out. Like this is what it looks like blended out, and then I normally like to go back to the flat side that I did my concealer on, not concealer, foundation on, and then I'm going to make sure that there's no harsh line, and there you go. So this is how I apply concealer with the sponge and the brush. So there are ways to do it, you know, you can use your finger as well. I taught this technique in a previous video. Make sure you really watch that video before you get to this one. So this is the perfect canvas. Now you can start doing things on top of it. That's a lot of information, I know. Thank you guys for sitting through 2 parts of this creating your perfect skin series, and I hope you guys take away something useful. Having beautiful skin is always a good start for any kind of makeup look. Doesn't matter you're doing smoky eyes, cut crease, or bold lips, or anything. Having a flawless, clear base is always going to a plus for your makeup look. So I hope you guys all walk away with some useful tips and tricks, and I will see you guys again next time. Stay tuned.